My name is Dyas. I fight out of Falcon's Gym in Margate, and I live in Birchington in Kent. My opponent is Billy Geary, and we're fighting for the Four Nations ISKA kickboxing title, 70 kilos. My last fight was at Lordswood Leisure Centre, which was LFC Lion Fight 27, I'm sure it was. That was a K1 fight. It went to plan. Knocked him down in round 2 with a good knockdown, and it was a clear decision, unanimous win. So yeah, it was a good night overall. Started off light con, had over 10 light cons, undefeated in light con, boxing as well, and then went into full con kickboxing. I've had around 6 full con kickboxing fights and at least 4 K1 full contact K1 fights. Yeah, I haven't managed to get a full contact kickboxing fight for a little while now due to pull-outs and just not being able to get matched due to record. So I've been in K1 as well, just to get the numbers up and get the ring time in. Yeah. Kickboxing is my roots. So when I started, we did kickboxing and that was my main focus. So I'm a lot more experienced in kickboxing, above the waist style. That's where I started. Obviously, as I've evolved, I've gone into more K1 as well, just to keep fighting and keep the fights coming in. But kickboxing is definitely my roots and where I feel most comfortable in there. Well, kickboxing and K1 it's more low kicks, knee strikes, thinner pads on the shins. Kickboxing, trousers, no shorts, no attacks below the waist. Personal preference, it's only because I've been starting kickboxing a lot longer, which is why I prefer it, because it's where I've started and it's where I'm most seasoned in my way of thinking and fight IQ. But fighting K1 has helped me elevate my kickboxing game as well, because there's more to watch out for in K1. So when you are fighting kickboxing, there's still things to watch out for, don't get me wrong, but actually it's not as much to watch out for, where in K1 you've got the list to worry about too. I started back when I was in my 20s, early 20s, and as soon as I walked in the gym, I set a goal. I wanted to be a fighter, I wanted to be a black belt, and I set several goals, and over the years, turn up every day, train every day, put in the fight camps and not missing a grade in, and now I've achieved a lot of my goals and I've set new goals, and so it keeps me motivated. It keeps me, always pushing to be better in that sense. And yeah, it's just a journey of always getting better. It makes my life easier outside the ring as well. And now I come here so much, I feel weird if I'm not here. If I don't come here, I've got that unspent energy, I've got to have that outlet now. It's part of my life. It's a lifestyle. I'm a carpenter and a builder. It's a very physical job. Doing this makes my life easier with more physical tasks, but also having an outlet for stress and energy and the mental side of it definitely is needed, definitely helps with stress coming here. And also to have different things to focus on, I can come here, switch off for an hour or 2 hours and not think about work. And it just helps both. Both kind of, and at work, I've been swinging a sledgehammer all week, been pouring concrete all week, so I'm seeing that as more of a workout, Then I come here, I'll run for 3 miles and I do 2 hours here every night, and I just feel like I couldn't really put any more into this fight camp, I have a partner, I have a fiance. She trains often, she's fought a few times. She started because I come here. I'm not sure if she wouldn't really see me much, she didn't come here. So yeah, she trains and she's very supportive with dieting as well, and she just doesn't miss a fight, she's always there. Well, sometimes, because she's obviously doing the light con fights at the beginning, and obviously I do full cons, but sometimes we fall in the same fight camp, so we'll both eat well together, we'll both cut weight together, we'll run together, we'll come to the gym together, take turns with dinners and things like that, so it makes things a bit easier on that front at home. But also it's like, it makes me want to be more careful when I'm in there because of how she's going to feel, I don't mind how I feel, it's more how others watching me are going to feel is what I worry about, Prior to the fight, remind yourself the reason why you're fighting, and the reality of the situation, but also going into the ring, I don't want to think about nothing else but being focused on that one job, that one guy across you in the ring. That's the only thing you should be focused on in that moment. But prior to that, it's good to remind yourself why you're fighting, why you do it, and you know what the repercussions of what could happen. So be aware, but be focused. I always feel nervous, you know, but I think nerves are a good sign. I think if you get into the ring and you're not nervous, you've got to be a madman. I mean, I think nerves are good. If you control them, they're good, but you can't let them cripple you. You need to stay focused and do what you do. Well, I know if I'm not seeing anything or missing out marks there to pull me back on the straight and narrow and tell me what needs to be done, you know, I trust Mark 100%, and I wouldn't have anyone else in my corner. I've only ever fought with Mark in my corner, and that's how it always be. I think it's down to, we were talking about this last night, I think it's down to like a trust thing built over years, and he knows my style, he knows my strengths, and he knows things I need to work on, you know, so anything that he says I'll take seriously and take note, and with him in my corner, me having the top fight camp, is, I believe there's not anyone I can't beat. I'm taking things from, you know, past fights and my most recent fight and what I should have done more. You know, I was happy with my performance, but there's always room for improvement. So, yeah, there's things that I have definitely worked on. The main thing is my road work, is my fitness, is my gas tank. I've not left any stone unturned in that kind of sense of fitness, and working on my strengths. Obviously, there's things that I've had to work on, but I've been working on them for months and months. So, yeah, hopefully you'll see some new. You see some of my preparation coming on Saturday. Well, the last kickboxing title I fought for was my first title, was the Southern Area WKO Southern Area kickboxing title, and I fought a guy that I've seen him beat a few guys before, and I haven't seen him lose much. But so I felt like I was coming in as a underdog in that fight, but I won that fight, and it was a good fight and a good lesson. And since then, I've been waiting to progress up the belts in kickboxing. But I've struggled to find the matches and the opportunities. There was almost a couple of fights going through, like on the previous Jackhammer, I had a fight match, but it fell through a week or so before, so it didn't happen. So I had to go back into K1. So it feels good to finally get another kickboxing title fight. Because of it, I've struggled to get the matches, but I've been ready, I've been waiting. So I'm very much looking forward to this opportunity. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. I'm very grateful to get on this stage. I've been to watch a few times, and I was actually, last time I was meant to fight, and obviously I was watching my teammate fight, and I was like, oh, should have been up there as well, but this time I will be. So the atmosphere was good for the fighters and the stage, the walkouts. I really like the set out there, you know, and I really like the atmosphere. The atmosphere is electric, and it's a very, very well-run show. So it's a pleasure to be a part of. Okay, my opponent is Billy Dolan Geary. He's from Ireland. Obviously, when I found out, I don't know much about him, but when I found out who I was fighting, I watched his fights. I come up with a game plan. Spoke to my coach about it, what he thought, and we worked on that game plan, and I'm going to stick to it. And he looks like a worthy adversary, so I'm grateful for the challenge and test. So that's all I can really say on that guy. Yeah, anyone fighting for Four Nations title, I'd like to think can definitely put up a good fight, you know, and I'd like to think he's got a similar record to me. So, you know, if he has, then he can fight. He's going to be a good fight, and I'm sure it will be. You know, I'm not taking no one for granted. No one can be overlooked. Anything can happen. So we've put the work in, and we're ready. Shout out to all the team of supporters and the team coming up to coach us. It's a long trek up there, but all the support is really appreciated on the night. It goes a long way.